Update post to my girlfriend opening up the relationship and then asking to close it. Original post. So, me and my girlfriend are both 23 and have been dating for 4 years now. She had an ex before me, but she's my first in everything. Well, 6 months ago, she said she was looking into having an open relationship, and it would be good for the two of us to get some experience that way so we wouldn't get bored of each other. I was very against the idea, but she said there was no other option for her, and I didn't want to lose her, so I agreed. We made the rule that we'd tell each other who and when we were hooking up with others, and after 2 days of this starting, she went and slept with her ex. I was kinda sad, and to lift my spirits, my friends took me to a club. We danced and enjoyed there and joined a girl group. One of them started grinding on me and I took her number. We met up later at my place and did it. And it was so much better. My girlfriend was what one would call a pillow princess. She'd close her eyes and do her best not to make any noise, just kinda lay there and took it. And it made me uncomfortable, so our intimate life dropped. But this girl was wild. She made noise like crazy and really made me feel like she enjoyed me. I had told my girlfriend about her, and she just sent a thumbs up emoji and a text that she'd be hooking up with her ex again. It was weird, and it did click with me that she just wanted to mess around with her ex, but I was also having fun and didn't want to close up again. I was feeling confident, handsome, and attractive for the first time in a while, and I realized that she never actually made me feel that way. We started seeing each other less and less. We went from hanging out daily for the first 2 years to 3 or 4 times a week to once a week. One day, we were out at the mall together and she stopped at a store to try out some clothes. I ran into a friend of mine in the store and we started chatting and openly flirting, and it ended with her telling me that she hoped we could meet again soon, in front of my girlfriend. I think on that day she changed a bit. She stopped sending me a text telling me who she was with, and she said it was because she wasn't doing it with anyone anymore. We started spending more time together because she wanted to. She started initiating more and started trying out new stuff and generally being more affectionate. I knew this was love bombing, but I enjoyed it, so I didn't really do much. I still took advantage of the open relationship though and would still go out to have fun, and this started irking her. She asked me why I was still with others now that she was giving me all the attention I wanted, and she insinuated that I wanted to cheat on her, which is why I agreed to it. To which I said I was the reluctant one, and she brought it up. She said she regretted it and that she only had one partner and realized he wasn't as good as I was, so she ditched him, and now she wants to close the relationship again. I told her what she was like in bed and how I felt terrible around her before, and opening up our relationship brought back my confidence. She started crying and hugged me and said she didn't know that and she'd make up for it with me, and asked me if I was going to leave her. I said it had crossed my mind, but I thought not to. She cried even harder, then fell asleep, and I realized that I really don't want to close this relationship. I've been feeling attractive and desired for a while now, and I really enjoy it. She has said she'll do her best to make me feel like that, and said that she loves me and doesn't want me to leave her, and she's also changed a bit, complimenting me and stuff, which makes me feel a bit better. I am actually willing to close the relationship, but I would need a guarantee that she won't go back to being what she was, which I don't really have. So here I am. Do you guys think it's best to close the relationship? Should I even stay in this relationship? Will she go back to being what she was? Now for the top advice before reading the update. How does one gain new experience from banging their ex? Like, you've already been there, but I digress since I know I am trying to apply logic to an obvious lie. 100% she was definitely flirting / getting wanted attention from her ex way before she brought up the open thing. She had to make sure it was gonna happen. Wouldn't surprise me if they'd already planned a date beforehand. I agree. They always have a specific person lined up and ready to go before they ask for the green light. Yep, my now ex-wife did this a few weeks ago. Asked for an open relationship. I said no, we now broke up, and she got a date immediately with a guy from work. It's always the same, and it's why open relationships don't work. Being completely honest here, she just opened the relationship so that she could do her ex. Huge red flag in my book. Just get out of there, enjoy your freedom, and find someone else. Yeah, I figured that out a little later, but was also meeting up with others myself, so didn't really care much when I found out. You didn't care anymore because you already ended your relationship emotionally. Not really a reason to continue with her if you don't regard her as your girlfriend. Best for you guys is to break up. Yeah, I guess I should just face reality. She does seem to be changing, but I'm kind of feeling it's too little too late. Yeah, it shouldn't take other people for you to act right for your partner. She should have been acting right from the start, especially as this isn't her first relationship, so she should already know. And now for the update. Those who like it, long story short, we broke up. Those who like juicy details, here goes. So after making my post, I saw that breaking up was my best option. Not just because I didn't want to close the relationship, but also because she had lied and manipulated me and was very likely doing it again in the form of love bombing. I didn't want to be the horrible guy who breaks up over text. I also didn't want to risk her changing the narrative to paint me in a bad light, so I decided to meet her in a public restaurant with a friend of hers as a reliable witness so she wouldn't be able to slander me later. We were supposed to meet the day before yesterday, but something came up and me and her friend forgot about the date. I arranged for a makeup meeting yesterday, keeping everything the same. Well, yesterday I arrived at the restaurant and she was already sitting there. She cheerfully waved at me, but her face went from confusion to shock to sadness when she saw I had brought her friend with me. She asked me what the friend was doing there. I said she was just here to verify what happens here at a later date if necessary. She just tilted her head a bit. Well, I told her I was done with her, and not in a good way. I told her off for the manipulation, the clear desire to cheat without having a guilty conscience, and the fact that she thought I wouldn't be able to get anyone. She got defensive and started crying and said it wasn't like that. But I interrupted her and said that was exactly what it was like, and I knew that she had been fooling around with her ex before we opened the relationship. I didn't, and it was a shot in the dark, but it hit its mark. She completely broke down sobbing and said she was sorry and was just confused at the time. She said she didn't want to lose me and tried to get me to remember the good times we had. All that did for me was show me how long back our relationship had actually died, and I just said that to her. There was more crying. She said she would change. I said I hope she did, for the next guy she would be with, but it wouldn't be with me. She said to me that she would keep the relationship open and wouldn't be with anyone if that was the problem. I said that our relationship ended as soon as she asked to open it. I just didn't know it at the time. She was bawling and people's eyes started running over to our table. I just said that I'd return her stuff within a few days and left while she was face down on the table, with her friend consoling her. So yeah, I'm done. For the first time in 4 years, I'm single. And for the first time in a year or so, I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm gonna follow the majority of the advice given to me and enjoy my youth. I won't be actively hunting for a relationship for a while, but if the right one comes along, then lucky me. Thanks everyone who took time to write comments. Thanks to the people that DM'd me and provided valuable advice. Except that one idiot, you know who you are. I did get a blast of messages and calls from my ex, begging for another chance. I thought it'd be satisfying to see it, but honestly, it was just sad. I ignored the messages, left my phone at home and went to a friend's place to hang out, without having to ask her if she's cool with it. I'm really gonna enjoy being single. Edit, guys, I really love the support. Thank you so much. I'm reading every single comment. I'm not replying right now, but I assure you, I'm reading all of them. You did the right thing by not accepting her open relationship BS and dumping the cheater. She tried the old gaslighting, saying she changed and she'd keep it open for you. What a joke. Opening a relationship when only one person, the cheater, wants is just so they can say they weren't cheating. You showed you have respect for yourself and will not tolerate that crap. Have a good life and maybe one day you will find the right person for you. In the meantime, have fun with your newfound freedom. She said that I could sleep with whoever I wanted to if I would be in a relationship with her. I mean, I could also do that if I'm not in a relationship with her. I have some sort of special appreciation for mentioning the one idiot. Thank you for that. Yeah, it felt wrong not to mention him. What did he say? He asked me to send my girlfriend's photos to him, and if he considered her worthy of his time, he'd help me out by sleeping with her and showing me she's in the wrong and still wants to sleep around. I don't know how someone's head can be that far up their butt, but damn. It is good you went for a clean break instead of continuing the open relationship and dragging the relationship on. You plan not to jump into a new relationship like a rebound one is a wise choice. Time to go no contact with your ex and give her time to heal from the regrets of her actions. Now for the last story. Polyamory is a freaking joke. We were married for 15 years. Our marriage was wonderful. She always had problems with mental health, but I loved her so much that I was willing to help her with those problems forever. She gave me 2 beautiful children who I continue to cherish. 18 months ago, she wanted to try polyamory and started a relationship with a guy she met online with my enthusiastic support. 3 months ago, that relationship ended. Then she met another man who she fell in love with. They made plans for him to fly out here and for them to spend a weekend alone in a hotel. It did not take me long to realize that polyamory wasn't for me. I had assumed that it would have been a group thing, but what she wanted was a private relationship with him. I tried my hardest to be okay with it, but I could never get around the idea. I put myself through a lot of pain trying to make it happen and I couldn't. I told her that I couldn't do it, crying as hard as I've ever cried before. And rather than being comforting for me, she went dead. All she could think about was herself. All she could think about was having to end her relationship with him. Less than a month later, she left me. She said she's been unhappy for 2 years, but it seems awfully suspicious that she would say nothing for 2 years, only to say something once she was unable to have some other guy come over and do her. She didn't have a job. I supported her and our family. I gave her 15 years of my life, abandoning any dream I might have so that I could work a job that would provide us a stable income. I gave her everything she ever wanted, entertained every hobby, and encouraged every dream she ever had. I was good to her. I was good to our children. I continue to be a fantastic father. But none of that seems to matter to her. All this seems to matter to her is that she get what she wants, no matter the cost, no matter the toll it takes on the people who love her. I'm seeing other people now. I've cleaned up my house and I'm moving on with my life. Still, however, I find myself incredibly bitter some mornings. I was wronged. She was selfish, and now my family has been cut in half because of it. The most annoying part of all of this is that she'll never realize what she really did. She'll never realize how badly she treated me. She'll never realize how selfish she's been. Polyamory is a freaking joke, and it destroyed my relationship with the woman I loved more than anyone else in my entire life. Last night she said she was going to come by and help me put up the Christmas tree with the kids. She stayed at her Airbnb, which her boyfriend is paying for. What a waste of freaking time. Now for the comments. I can't even fathom how emotionally drained you are from all this. I'm sorry. I know this all hurts so much. On the other hand, he's now free from this life leech. Maybe everything worked out for the best. Everyone whose spouse suggests polyamory should let it happen, document everything, and secretly start planning for divorce. Sounds like he was relatively happy before. There aren't many things that make it for the best when a family gets ripped apart. He's now free, but they have children together. As long as both of them care to be a part of the children's lives, he will never be free. That's not to say he can't live a perfectly happy life, but to say this worked out for the best is kind of crazy. She wanted a hall pass to explore her options. Then she found another option. She wanted you as a safety net in case it didn't work out. Yep, she wasn't poly. She was unhappy and wanted to test the waters without rocking the boat until she found someone. It's a little messed up that it's so hard to make a living in our society that a partner feels she has to play games like that at all. A former couple in my friend group is going through that, where she really can't afford to live on her own yet, so they're just ghosts in the same apartment after she spent a year keeping her mouth shut about her feelings. It's toxic all around. I've heard so many stories like this, including from a personal friend. I'm convinced like 80% of people that suggest poly aren't really poly and are just monkey branching. That isn't to say poly isn't legitimate, it's just that most people use the concept as an excuse to try someone else without committing to breaking up. Sorry this happened to you. I've seen this story time and time again. When a partner brings up becoming poly in a closed relationship, yes, something is wrong. It's a tale as old as time. Whether it's called the hall pass, celebrity freebie, open marriage, poly, or the short break to find myself. People who want to step out will always be inventing new excuses.